What's your funny or favorite animal moment for all of us?
Definitely was my cat. Yeah, it's very interesting because I was not there, but it was like a very viral test on the internet. It was like you put your hands like this, and you put a piece of food here, and then you let your cat see through this way. So they claim if your cat is like smart enough, it will like walk around your hands and then get the food from that way because they can't really touch it this way. So yeah, and then my mom tested. My cat spent like a minute doing it, like he's just trying to press the finger, and then eventually he got mad and then he bite my mom's hand.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, my mom said, "Oh, I have a stupid cat." That is a very funny thing.
It's coming from your own story.
Yeah,
That's
so-
nice. What's your
For me, so I used to live with this golden retriever for a while back in New York, and there was a period that we wanted to put a very cute pirate Halloween costume on her, and she was not patient because we told her that, oh, if you're still enough and like we can put it on properly, we're gonna give you a treat, and she was looking for the treat, like no patience at all, like. And then when we gave it to her, finally she was satisfied and like she let us do it. I can put some pictures here so that people can see, but it's kind of cool.
That's great.
damn? So it's all from your. You all have past experience.
Okay, which one do you want to say? Those mean
I only
cats?
have my dad only have a golden fish at our home. We never have any pets. And a funny moment. There's once the fish got hardly digest. So it has a poop that doesn't come out, and then poop is
Okay.
like this long
Oh,
coming after the fish.
Very interesting story
interesting,
for
yeah.
podcast. We already lost the audience.
professional.
Alright. Okay, let's get to the main questions now. So for the audience, would you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Aaron. I'm a second-year computer engineering student here at UofT. I'm going to my cert year, and yeah, for the summer I'm doing research with a professor at our department on machine learning topics.
Very correct. Okay, so why do you like research so much?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. Actually, I just talked about that similar question with my professor last week. I think, I guess as some context, we're doing a LLM powered chatbot for therapy, specifically for psychological therapy, and more specifically for smoking addictions. So what we're trying to do is we try to help what we call the client or the patients to let them quit smoking, or at least give them some motivations or some supports to help them along the way. And the reason we're doing it is that we realize that for traditional therapy, first of all, it's really costly to get a psychologist to talk to you, or like an actual doctor to treat you for those kind of things. It's really hard to access, and sometimes they're very costly. So yeah, that's the main reason we're doing those kind of projects right now for research. And I personally felt like why it's very fun or interesting to do is that you're feeling like you're making an impact to actually, at least for this project, I think it's a very large community, right, for all the smokers who want to quit. And yeah, so although it's still ongoing research, but we did a few experiments, not this year with me, but in the past years, and then we collect their feedbacks and stuff, and then when we see that the client actually says they're benefited from this chatbot, we feel like, oh, you're actually making an impact and then help lots of people who you don't know, but you actually help them a lot. Yeah.
That's great. I'm curious, you guys all both was studying engineer. Were you ever love research back to your undergrad?
Well, for me personally, I never got into it because I was going a different path, especially because I got into ML stuff mainly for the last year of my school, So yeah, I feel like that's the area that research is more beneficial to. Like for regular software engineering and stuff, it's mostly like, oh, like do something and like trial and error for the most part and practice. Like coding is the most important part. Yeah, for me, I don't know if I'm a research type of person that much. Maybe if I get into it long enough, I might like it because yeah, it's like a novel thing. You see constant innovation, and that must be exciting in a sense.
Yeah.
Especially reading, working on something new that no one ever done before.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess that's another reason it's very fun to do research is that you get to do something actually new. So I'll say like software, you're still always building something new because otherwise they don't need you to build it if it already exists. But for software, more like you're combining the existing tools or methodology, like whatever they have already, and it's kind of like you know it works to a degree already, and people are accepted to those things. So, and then you just try to combine all the tools you have to create something new, which is also interesting, but research is like another domain that you're facing lots of like uncertainty. You're actually digging into a problem that maybe no one solves before or no one even tries to solve before. So like you have really limited tools at your resort and you have to come up with some, whether you have some new tools or you come up with some workarounds to like solve your problem ideally. Yeah.
Fair enough. Now that we're on that topic, I'm kind of curious, what first got you into like ML? Because especially like your main focus is machine learning, and there's like so many other paths that you could like go about.
Yeah.
And I mean, more recently it's more hot, like more of a hot topic. So nowadays, if someone chooses that, it's not like that strange. But like, what got you into it?
So it was like actually not that long ago. I started my machine learning journey, I'd say like a year ago, back in last summer. So yeah, and the reason behind that is not really a reason. I was like talking to one of my upper years friends. I was like, oh, maybe like I'm first year going to second year back then. And I was like, oh, maybe I should like have a more definite path on something that I want to work on, or because I should look for like jobs and internships positions since second year, right? So I was like, yeah, but I have to like learn something maybe outside of school where I have to like just have a more focused area that I'm interested in. So yeah, and then, but the good thing is that since the beginning, I know I'm like interested in like software, CS kind of stuff. So I have like a good general direction and I just need to like explore within that big direction on which subcategory I want to. So yeah, for last summer, I actually tried a bunch of different things. I mean, I did a lot of software before already, so I kind of know that. And then I also tried some cloud developments or not development, like DevOps stuff, which is more, which is very popular as well. And that's also something I'm doing with for my club, and it's like really valuable experience. And another thing I tried out was machine learning, which I honestly, it's just among all of them, what I found the most exciting one. Because you can, like I remember when I like do my starting with things, I did like linear regression and stuff. It just sees like the line tries to fit the data point on its own, like as a visualization. I mean, it's nothing big, it's not really significant, but it's just like very cool that you see you're doing something that you don't have to do anything and then learn on its own. You know? So yeah, it's very cool, and then that's where I got into it. And I mean, and then the more you learn about machine learning, you'll realize how cool it is. As like, especially when you get to the more edge-cutting stuff like language model or generative AI, those things you can see like actual products. Like you can see maybe you train a model that generates image for you, then when you see the image, it was like, oh, this is super cool. So yeah.
I remember I talked to Andrew once, and he introduced me to a the video he was making. It's also
AI warehouse.
AI warehouse.
Yeah, AI warehouse. That's really cool. I was keep watching the video, like how they train little guy to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also
nice.
one of the fascinations for me, because I was like, wait, you're telling me that I can just give data and like a certain like general like algorithm to it, and it will create a smart creature without me needing to code for it?
Yeah.
You know, like, because initially I started with like creating my own ML model and stuff like those more basic ones. I was like, that is very interesting. Like, you don't need to code anything. Like, let's say, oh, if this is this, then do that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's smart. I was like, holy, this is something I'm interested in.
Yeah. Maybe smarter than us. That's the thing.
But yeah, sadly.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to the next question. So how can people get into machine learning research? Where should they start from? Or do they need to learn the basics, or can they just jump into more recent methods? What do you think?
So I guess as for people who's more of a beginner stuff, I'd say like you don't have to rush into, let's say I want to do research, because it's really important that you figure out the motivation of why you're even trying to do research, right? Because let's say I'm doing research for a reason that I just want a publication, then that's probably not a good reason for you to get into research, because your motivation is not really like the reason you should do research. And yeah, and I talked to my professor about that. It's like he said the only reason you should do it is that you have curiosity about something, and research is that whether it's a university or like department, they provide you the resources and the opportunities to pursue or to figure out your curiosity, while it's also beneficial to the society or to the technology to a degree. So yeah, I guess for whoever wants to get into research, that's the first thing you should think about, is why you want to do it before you actually even do it. And if you do have a valid reason to, let's say, oh, I'm very interested in this specific topics that no one ever thought about, or no one like have very limited knowledge about, then it is a good reason to get into research. But as I said, or I didn't say, but like as what people say is that you should get your fundamental good. Especially for machine learning, you should know about all the basic stuff. Even though they seems irrelevant, you don't know when it comes to helpful. And another thing I really emphasize for research is you need a good math foundation. Linear algebra, calculus, probability, those are the three big pillars. And yeah, so and you have to focus on the basics, because it is like evolving very fast. And I'd say like more edge cutting stuff are very advanced, and they're really complicated sometimes, even to us as a researcher, and we don't really like know what's going on. So while that's constantly changing, I think what doesn't change is the basics, and then those really maybe the foundational model or some like foundational methodology is where you get started with stuff. So I'd say a very good advice is that don't even try to think about the fancy stuff before you understand the basic well enough, because first of all, they're building like upon the basics. So it's like you can't go to 10th floor without you even stepping into the lobby or something like that.
It's kind of learning how to type hello world or stuff for coding.
Yeah.
Like if you know the basics, then you can translate that for future use cases.
Yeah, and like if you try to learn the advanced stuff like at the beginning, it seems like very cool and exciting. That part didn't deny, but it's also like at one day you'll realize, oh, I don't really understand what's going on, because I don't even have the good enough foundations to realize what I need to understand beforehand. So
now let's assume that like people already have the foundation and they want to get into more recent stuff, because every day I see like some new news or new articles that are coming out. Do you ever feel overwhelmed with the amount of new innovations and stuff that is going on, and like how do you manage that? Like
I'll say like yes and no. I agree that there are lots of like information. There's probably like hundreds of paper coming out every day just on archive or all the like different machine learning conferences or platforms. And there are like all new innovative ideas and maybe even new directions of research or, well, we can build upon it. So I'll say, yeah, it's like lots of information. And sadly, there's like lots of them are actually not really beneficial or even correct, because at this like current world, lots of people can publish blogs and stuff on their own. So there will be like lots of not really wrong, but like probably like misinterpret information or those kind of stuff. So I guess, yeah, in terms of that, yes, there are lots of information, but it's very good, important skill to have is to have the ability to filter information and filters out what's correct, what's good, and what's valuable for you personally. And I guess speaking of the overwhelming part, I personally never felt too overwhelmed by everything coming out. First of all, because I am more or less focused on a very specific or small domain. So, and it's like, it is still fast evolving, but on the other hand, there's like, you need progress like kind of slowly, because you can't just achieve something like by one day or months or like even a year or so, because our project has been like going on for like 5-6 years already. So it takes like actually very long to achieve or to get where you want to. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going. So,
No, fair.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, yeah, the advice that you gave, that let's focus on a specific, like very niche or like specific field, that's very valid too. Because initially, when like the AI or ML models came out, like you could generally like go into ML as a whole, but now that the field is becoming super vast, that's not possible anymore. It's like kind of like the beginning of the technology and internet. You could like basically learn everything about internet, but nowadays like you can't. You are either like a front end, back end, like is it like database engineer, all of those things. So that's a very good advice for people not to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'd say it's like important that you like you still try out different things. Like I did try out like a bunch of different domains in machine learning. I did CV NLP, which is what I'm currently working on. And I also did generative AI, and I also did a little bit of reinforcement learning. So I think it's important that you try different opportunities or different like domains first before you dive straight into one. It's really so valuable to try different things, at least in the beginning, I think. Yeah, but in the end, you should focus like only one or two things that interest you the most, or something like that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Makes a good advice. I also think like even though I'm not in ML area, but I feel at least in my area there are always like different topics, and then just be patient to like you said, filter out, and then just be patient to understand the whole general picture. Don't like narrow yourself down to one path, and you keep doing it, and then you go to a dead end. But yeah, it's a good advice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Next question. Yeah. So the next question is, you have done many machine learning projects, even though you're in your second year right now. And what's the coolest machine learning project or application you have come across recently?
You want to talk about Samus? Is that allowed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So what's happening is that we are collaborating with a company. Are they like separated from like MIT lab? Is that? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a company built from a bunch of people from MIT, and they're from the same lab, so they decided to build this company. And it's about active learning. It's about basically gives more efficient labeling, like finding more efficient ways of labeling data. because in machine learning, what we actually generally did is like, let's say I have a large amount of data and I want labels on it, right? For example, I'm trying to build a cat or dog classifier, and I need to have a bunch of images for training, and I need to know, like, have what we call ground truth is like we need to know which image is cat or which image is dog to tell the model firsthand, so it could learn from it. And in general, that process is like you shuffle the data set. So you just like randomly pick an image and then you see if it's a cat, you give it like a cat label, and then you see it's a dog, you give it a dog. But the data set are generally very large. So it's very, very difficult, not difficult, but like tedious to labels, and it costs lots of money and human power to do that. And there's sometimes like error that you might just like misclick or just misinterpret something that you gives a wrong label. So there's like lots of issues still exist in that part of the process, even though it's like really foundational for all machine learning models that you need to have some sort of data. So what that project works on, or we're working on right now, is that we're trying to create a not really auto labeling yet, but we're trying to like use as minimal label as possible to help the user to decide which subset of data set to label first. So it's a little bit confusing, but basically what's happening is, let's say I have 10 images. Before we try to label all 10, and the goal of this project is if we have this product, maybe we can tell the user, oh, you can label only 3 or 5 images that we picked, and those are the most representative ones. So you can achieve the same level of performance where I don't know if it can achieve any better, but you can achieve same level amount of performance by less amount of work because you're labeling like a lot less data. And yeah, so that's what we're trying to do.
Basically prioritizing which data is more important to be labeled.
So
kind of like when you want to teach like a little kid like what is water or something, you're not gonna show like a can of water or like different packagings of water initially. You're gonna start with like a glass of water because that has the most impact. It's like if they get that right, then like the possibility of they getting the future ones right is easier.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a very cool thing, and it also like if the products ever comes out, it will be like really beneficial to lots of people. I think whoever needs to use those kind of stuff, because like for our current scope, we're limited to image labeling, but image labeling is a very huge domain, and it's very beneficial if that we have those kind of technologies for people to use. So yeah.
All right.
It's something, yeah, very cool.
Fair enough. Now that we have that, as someone who's been in this field a little bit longer, I'm kind of curious, where do you think the future of AI will be going to? There's so many different, type of thoughts about it.
Yeah, that's a very interesting but difficult question, I'd say. Because I think the honest answer is like no one really knows, right?
Yeah.
It's like changing.
What do you think will happen?
I'll say that later, but it's like no one really knows where it's going.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like we all see the capabilities of AI, and it can do like a lot of stuff. But I think one of the direction that it's really important for the future of AI is that it's like, how do you like consider how do you use the power of AI? Because currently it's good, and I'll say it's like very, very good to what we expect it to be, right? Because like, let's say 5 years ago, no one knows that, ChatGPT or like those language model just like storms the world, and you can like use it to write essay, write paper, do pretty much all the problems you can see even at university level. So it's like very crazy. But one of the issues sometimes we see is that, first of all, it's not always correct. but it will make you think it's always correct. Like it will try to convince you or pretend it will always correct. I don't know if you guys, I think everyone should have that kind of experience like to some degree. So it's really important that you have like as a person or even as an organization or company to figure out like how, I mean, I personally mostly trust AI, but like it's important that you don't always trust it and you have to like be cautious about when you're using it. And that leads to, I guess, another part of the AI is more of a guideline or responsible AI, which is what Matthew is doing. And this also kind of ties to our research projects because we are doing a psychological therapy. So you are actually talking to real people. You are treating like or changing people's state of mind in some ways. So it is very, very important that you are responsible for the product you built. That's one of the reasons our projects takes very long to, like research project takes very long to build or to become something that's we can publish. It's because we need to make sure it's safe. It's like you're responsible, that your AI doesn't do anything to harm or not really to push your patient towards negative things or negative directions. So,
but we're not going that way currently.
Yeah, we're not, but it's like one of the important things that we always need to think about.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I think that's like one of the bigger direction of AI as well as powerful, how you regulate it, or I mean really not really regulate, but like how you make it responsible. That's one direction. And another thing is that while AI is powerful, how can we like better use it for that's what we call the automated process, which is kind of what we are doing for the project I talked about, is like that we can use AI or some sort of other algorithms to help to makes people's work simpler and makes everything that we want to be fast, make it happens faster. So that's another direction that's really good and really, I say popular and also important right now.
Do we think like in the future there will be something like 2008 financial crisis and it's like AI crisis? Because for the financial crisis, because the mortgage problem, and then they just lend money to the poor credit people, and then I know for AI itself, it's probably still under or operated normally, but what if like people who with a bad intention, and then they probably, yeah, because I still think like most people who create machine learning models or project, they're very smart, they're very like diligence into it. They probably won't do stuff around it, or like they're very responsible for it, as you mentioned. And what if there's like poor credit people?
That's I have no idea about the answer.
Yeah, Jeffrey Hinton talks a lot about those problems. Like, what if someone uses it instead of to do something good, like a protein design or curing disease, like to create like a virus that is very like, what we just said, like fatal, and also can spread super fast. Like if someone creates something like that, then it's a guarantee that the world population will suffer a lot. You know, or like, you know, even AI itself trying to take over somehow, Terminator. I don't know.
I don't think that's a thing right now, but
not right now. But
I don't know if
there is no stopping or slowing down for AI development.
Yeah.
Which also due to like geopolitical reasons and, you know, competition in the business sector and all of those things, I don't think will happen either. So it's kind of like everyone is going all in, hoping that it doesn't go that way.
Also, it's making it very accessible to people who have no experiences. So it could be.
That's why I said, like, as a researcher who creates the AI, we should be responsible for whatever we created, because you know it will be used and accessed by lots of people. And I'll say like a lot greater portion of them are good intention, you're actually helping them. But there are always those who has maybe bad intentions that you have to consider, and you have to be responsible for the product you created. or the research you conducted.
Yeah.
There's also one little issue as well, that it's that we don't necessarily, or maybe I don't know enough about it, but we don't necessarily know how AI models think or work generally, right? It's like you train it on a data set and you hope that, obviously you will put like some rail guards or like measurements at the end to filter out the responses or whatnot. But like generally human being cannot know what exactly the AI is how exactly the process is like working, If you have a piece of code like a program or something, you can technically change the behavior by changing the code, but for AI you can't necessarily do that.
That's actually one of the other projects that we have at our research lab. So we had 2 projects, and one's like psychology chatbot, and the other one is about AI interpretability, which is we're trying to figure out what does AI, or more like language models specifically, like ChatGPT and stuff, when they're talking with you, what are they like thinking? I say the progress in that field currently is going, but it's very slow because you can't really justify anything until you fully prove it. And the direction we try to go into is that we suspect that as human, we think about stuff. Let's say I'm saying a sentence, I'm not actually thinking about the exact words, like every word that comes out of my mouth. And what we're thinking is that we're thinking about the high level concept, what I'm trying to say. And even though I try to say the same thing, maybe I say it twice, it'd be 2 different sentences, but they mean the same thing. So that's what we're trying to detect, kind of see if AI also thinks about in terms of concept, or just thinks about in like more higher level. Because if you're familiar with it, like as a basic understanding that all the language model does is that it predicts the next token, right? So it predicts what's coming next given all the previous sentences or information. So, but that's like not really high level, and that's not really how we works, right? Like as human. So that's a very interesting direction to go into, and I'll say that's one of the. But it is like very difficult because none of us know what's really going on right there.
Guess we'll see in 20 years.
Hopefully.
20 years.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go for next?
Next question is, what do you think the most underrated and overrated things about AI?
That's interesting. I guess we can each say one, honestly.
I can say one.
Sure, yeah.
Because I have the least experience.
Oh, okay.
As a user for myself, I think maybe it's not underrated, but I think the therapy that the AI can bring to me, not just AI, maybe ChatGPT, that can bring to me, it's humongous. Yeah. Like it can make me feeling like from sad to like a little bit happier, and then to more like closer to what I want, and it's very encouragement. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's something that I don't need to pay for much. I can just talk right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Underrated? Yeah. Actually, I think this is a very important one just for, let's say, ChatGPT in general stuff. It's like you have a, because it's so powerful that it can be like anything you want. It can be like your teacher, it can be your friends, although I don't really suggest that you have AI friends yet. But
oh my God.
They're dating with AI, isn't
yeah,
it?
but I don't really suggest that. But,
shout out
X. But it's like you have a very powerful thing that can be anything, anything you want it, right? And I don't think sometimes people like really leverage that kind of power, because let's say I want to learn something, I can literally just, instead of like Google find a bunch of tutorial on myself, I can literally just use ChatGPT to help me with it, and it will like gives you an answer within like 10 seconds or something. And although sometimes it could be wrong, most times it's correct, and especially for the simpler stuff. And so I think it's like really powerful thing that everyone has access to. It's like before that people need to learn something, they need to go to libraries, they need to go to universities, to lectures, right, or read books. But now, like literally whatever you want to learn, you can ask ChatGPT and it will tell you how to do or whatever to do. So I think it's kind of underrated because lots of people, well, we know how powerful it is. We didn't really realize or like leverage that kind of power to our usage, like whether it's personal or as a, I don't know, as a company, whatever it is.
Yeah, I totally agree. I actually wanted to say the same thing. I feel like the main reason for people not using it as much, even though, for example, I know how powerful it is, sometimes I don't even consider initially going and using GPT for an advice or like a general plan. Maybe later down in the line I refer to it, but you know, and the problem I guess is that it's very hard to get access to, and not in a sense that like it's like abandoned, like it's like banned or something, you know, but in a sense that if I want to like come up with something, right, I should go pick up my phone or open my laptop and like get to the website or the app and start typing, you know, or maybe even use voice, but like at that point I might as well type if I open my laptop. And I feel like that's very not, you know, natural in a sense. But I think that's something like a VR headset or like a something like that, like future like smart glasses or something. If you have the AI on the side or something, and you just ask it naturally, maybe touch some part of the glass or something, and you ask it, and it will show you the answer. That'll be way more useful for most of the people.
Yeah.
And the usage will increase a lot, I assume, by that point.
Yeah, I'd say it's still like really, AI is still more accessible than as they go into a library or going to a lecture in person.
Yeah.
Although those have their own benefits in a, like there's no which one is better or which one is not, but I think in general AI is the most accessible and most, while also being very powerful thing that we can get at this current, you know, world. And yeah, everyone should be at least think about how they can leverage that kind of power that we all have and that we didn't really realize that we have maybe. So yeah.
Anything overrated, you think, or?
Oh, this is the underrated part.
Yeah.
I guess
overrated?
I don't know. Overrated. It's also that kind of part is like it's also being powerful, but it's not that good anyways, and always makes error. That whereas sometimes like I don't know if any of you like have encountered this, is that sometimes if you don't gives it like very detailed instructions or a bunch of stuff, it doesn't really understand what you're trying to do, and it will just gives you some output, but it's not really what you wanted. So yeah, so I think it's like while it's powerful, how you use it is like another aspect to think of, because you have a great tool, but it's the same tool for everyone as well. And like how it's being overrated, I felt that people just brag about the tool itself. Like they said, oh, AI is powerful, and it is, but in the end, it's just a tool for, at least for now. And so it's very important that we learn how to use it, like, because you have a tool. In the end, your goal is to learn how to use it. And so that kind of part is also being ignored by lots of us. And I found it, all those like, yeah, so it's really important skill to learn about how to use the most powerful tool you have in your hand. That's another thing, I'd say.
What about you? What do you think?
I barely use it.
Fair.
Overrated.
I can say for one example, especially in my usage, people who do wipe coding, oh my god, like it's overrated how strong it is in like coding, because every time you ask it something, so AI is really bad at like iterative processes, at least for coding. Like if you ask it to create a code and then you ask it again to change a specific part, it will sometimes recreate the code and screw the other parts that you might have like already liked. And a lot of times it doesn't consider all aspects. So basically in each of your prompts, you should either give it the full like complete prompts like in detail, or you gotta know something like how it works, or give it like smaller chunks.
Yeah.
It's really bad at that. And
As I was saying, like you learn like how to interact with it. You need to learn what we call prompt engineering, which is basically you tell it what to do in exact, and you will see actually that for the same task, how you frame it or how you frame the task and how you tell AI what to do, will gives you very, very better, very, very different results, even it's the same thing. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, should we go for the last one?
Yeah. The last one is, what do you want to achieve in the future in the area of your focus? Where do you see yourself?
That is very hard.
Yeah, you can say in like 5-10 years, something like that.
I'd say it's like.
Also, you might not like pushing this.
Yeah, I really don't know. Because I'd say at my stage is still like for the summer I works in this domain of natural language processing and stuff. But I'd say for me personally, since I'm only second year going to third year, I'm still in like a very exploration stage. I'll say that I still want to try out like lots of different domains within this AI field. I think like medical is something very interesting. Generative AI, which you can just tell AI to generate like whatever kind of image you want it to generate for you. Or reinforcement learning, which is more about robotics and well, it's like reinforcement is like everywhere, but yeah, like those kind of things are really, really cool as well. And I think I should, at least as I said, take the chance to explore more of those. Yeah, but in terms of like directions, I don't really have a set one yet, because I think it is good to not have a set directions at my age. Yeah, and so it gives me the opportunity to try a lot more things, to explore stuff before I decide where I want to do for like later stage of my life. So
yeah. Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
I mean, you're at a stage that you can explore a lot for now. So
You barely hit 20.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
finally.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So that's probably all of it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
yeah, thanks for
you.
coming.
Yeah.
All right, should we do on a count of 3 subscribe?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
All
we'll
right,
see.
3, 2,
Two,
1, subscribe.